I'll steal Zach's and say, does Bella have to do running or something for missing the one free throw that y'all missed all night?
No. If they'd have given up an offensive rebound on an opponent free throw, yes.
Bella did a little bit of everything tonight. You know, I guess how easy does that make your job when she's just can do a little bit of everything at a really high level consistently?
Well, I was proud of her because I thought the more shots she missed, the harder she played in every other area. You know, it's easy. Bella's such a good three-point shooter, and when she's not shooting it well, she can get in her head, she can get frustrated, and I saw those moments, but I thought that she turned those into making defensive plays, steals, offensive rebounds, you know, so I was really proud because, you know, she hasn't had that many double-figure rebounding games, and I just thought she was a menace on the glass, and she was coming from all over when they were in man, when they were in zone, really at both ends. And I've always said since she was a freshman, when she goes up in the air to get the ball, there's no one more sure-handed at bringing it in because she has the combination of the ability to jump, but also the strength, or the ball doesn't get knocked out of her hands very often. So, you know, would have loved to have seen either that free throw go in or one of those threes, so she could have been in a double-double situation. But I thought her effort was fantastic, even with missing shots.
Coach, you talked about how important it was for Buggs to see a three-pointer go in, and she hits her first 2 threes tonight, and then Incarnate also knocks one. And how important was that for this team?
I think it's really important. I think when you know, the thing that Buggs has consistently done well in her career is move the ball, attack the glass, drive the ball, run the floor, and this was the missing piece to create closeouts. You know, she's got to be able to knock those down so that if people close out short, she can knock it down. If they run her off the line, now she gets to go into her bag off the bounce, and so. She's worked really hard at it, and I think you saw kind of her joy, but also her teammates' joy, because she's celebrated a lot of threes by her teammates for the last 2+ years, and so it was fun to see them get to celebrate hers. I knew when she made one this season that there would just be a different confidence level. Now, don't get me wrong. You know, I don't think it's 5 threes a game all the time. I thought the first one was the only one I don't think she should have taken early against the zone, but I thought all the other ones were in rhythm. We got paint touches, we moved it. I just thought they were good threes and good looks for her, and so I think it was a really, really good thing for her. And I knew, look, Nettie gets in and shoots the ball from 3, and once again, you know, it's not where we want her to spend a lot of her time, but there's times when she's going to have to take advantage of a matchup if they sink in and make that perimeter 3 to make us really, really effective offensively.
Coach, Jada had 10 assists and 2 turnovers. How confident is she at the point this year, and what did you think of her performance tonight?
Yeah, you know, I was proud of her for, you know, she struggled against zones last year. I mean, it just, with her wanting to get to her pull-up game and her ability to get to the rim, it's really hard to do, you know, against a 2-3 zone. And so you're going to get shots in transition, which I thought was where she got, you know, her points were in transition, drawing fouls. And then it's finding ways to effectively, like, infiltrate the zone and then move the ball. And I thought she got better and better as the night went along in terms of finding people on the diagonal, on the kick out, in transition. And, you know, she in the zone, you know, her career percentage from 3, it's like she's got to find ways to not just be a 3-point shooter against the zone. And so I thought she did a really, really good job tonight.
It felt like, especially starting out the second half, the energy was really, really good coming out of that half. Just how important was it to kind of get in a rhythm of the game and then really put the pedal to the metal in the second half?
Yeah, I think, you know, one of the things about Incarnate Word's Princeton elbow action is, we were super disruptive, and we use a lot of energy defensively and had to defend most possessions for 20 plus seconds. And so, I thought we made a lot of defensive mistakes, in that first 4-minute stretch, actions that we had worked on. And they just do a good job of working the ball from one side to the other, and they're not always in scoring position, but you got to cut with them and run with them. And so I thought we just got more and more disruptive. Not as much necessarily in picking them up full court, but in the half court, really taking them out of their first action, their second action. And then I thought we did a better job, when it got late in the shot clock, of just walling up, not fouling, and rebounding the basketball. And when you rebound the basketball, you can get in transition. And so I thought that was a big part of it. I thought the game was really slow in the first half. I thought our bench came in and changed the energy right away in the first quarter and got us in transition some. But I thought that unit did a really good job starting the third quarter of defending, getting in transition, and then finding, I thought Sarah had a couple nice darts to Nettie on the diagonal. And I think when you start to move the D and manipulate the D, then everybody starts to get involved.
Any update on Jana? What happened with her?
She's being evaluated.
I think we're supposed to go ahead and ask about Oregon too.
You can.
If you don't.
Feel free.
Obviously, they've played a couple of games. Does that help just in terms of scouting them?
Yeah, for sure. I'm sure there's some things Kelly hasn't shown yet because he didn't have to. But I thought, it was important to get a look at them. I wouldn't have wanted to play them in the first game just because their entire roster is totally different. So as a coach, you don't like to go in blind. And so last year when they were big, but not as active. They played zone. Now they're pressing. They're being aggressive in their ball screen coverage. They're, they got playmakers. Deja Kelly had a huge game last night against Nevada. I just thought she walked into her pull-up too easily, but also knocked down threes for them, which, has been, if there is a questionable part of her game over the course of her career, she's scored nearly 2,000 points. It's been, she's an elite at getting to the foul line. She's elite in her pull-up, but her three hasn't been as consistent, so she knocked that down last night. Amina Muhammad, who we've seen over and over and over again, is playing the 5 for them right now. Because their starting 5, is coming back from an injury. And so she just gets out and hedges hard and is active and is in passing lanes, which we're very, very familiar with. But a lot of transfers, a lot of pieces. They can go legit 9 deep, I would say, and have people that can score. So it's going to be a challenge, and they're bringing Sabrina back to celebrate the Liberty Championship. So I anticipate a really good crowd at 7 o'clock on a Sunday night. I mean, what else are people doing in Eugene at 7 o'clock on Sunday night?
You have so many weapons and so many players who can have a big night. Just how much kind of pressure does that take off of someone like Sarah, who's been here for such a long time, that she doesn't have to do everything?
Yeah, I think Sarah wants to see the ball go through the basket more, but I think she's okay at times, being Robin and, in that setting. And I think this team, I think, what Buggs can do and the elevation of her game, I'm not shocked. I've seen it, coming. And I thought she was really good in the exhibition game and followed that up with a slow start. And then once she saw the first one go in, then she got back to being Buggs. It's about playing to people who are open and making shots. And, I thought even though Yaya didn't make shots, I thought most of her minutes were really, really good for us. And, we're going to need our bench to be good for us. And so, I think there are games Jada can get 28, and there's games like today where she takes one shot, and I think and still runs a really good floor game for us. So, we've just got to take what the defense gives us. I thought that was the best game of Kyla's career. It was good to see her see those first couple free throws go in. I think it calmed her down. You know, she didn't rush in transition on the easy layup. I thought she impacted the defensive end of the floor, and she really gave us a hard rim runner. So it was really good to see her minutes be so productive as well. I mean, plus 34 in 20 minutes is pretty good.
One more on Oregon. They do have some size, and what do you want to see from your team going up against some real size with what you've got now?
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I think they can be. I mean, when they can play Che at the 5, they can be really big. But I think with her coming back from an injury, I think she's still has a minutes limitation. So then it becomes, to me, they look a little bit more like we did a year ago. Their guards are really big. They can be big at the 2, 3, 4, relatively speaking, long, athletic guards, but they're not super big or deep at the 5. And I think they're active, really, really active. So it reminds me a lot the way they start of a Dre and Asia at the 4-5. And so, you know, I think they're going to bother us in a lot of ways with their pressure. They're going to play with a different pressure. I mean, we've seen a little more passive. When these guys did play a man tonight, you know, we could move the ball, we could swing it, we could get into action. You know, we're going to have to back cut, we're going to have to make reads, we're going to have to DHO the basketball. So I think they're going to present challenges, you know, but I don't know that their size, I think their activity is the thing. Muhammad's so hard to keep off the glass. She's like Bella was tonight when Bella made up her mind to go to the boards. Like, no one could keep her from the rim. And I think Muhammad's the same way. Thank you.